Escrow. What is escrow? We'll talk about that on today's episode. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're here this week with Denise Sweeney from Magnus Title to find out kind of what is title, what is that all about. So we're going to have that conversation today. But Denise, thanks for being on our channel.
Absolutely.
Happy to have you.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you here and why you're doing escrow for a living?
Sure, absolutely. So actually I'm Denise Sweeney. I'm the branch manager of Magnus Title on Stearman. I have been in escrow for 38 years. Since 1982. I started in high school, which is scary.
They had to let you start when you were 2, if
yeah,
you've been here 38 years.
Yeah. And so I actually got into escrow because my brother-in-law was an escrow officer at Pioneer Title, and he talked me into going into it through the DECA program, which was in high school, and that's the job that I chose. And I have never done anything else besides, high school stuff whenever I was working on other jobs. But yeah, as my senior year forward, I've always worked in escrow.
Wow, that's a long time.
It is.
I did that. You said DECA was where you were.
Yeah, DECA.
I was in the program called Hero, which was like the restaurant hotel side of similar program though, where they place you in your job and you have a class at school to kind of supplement it.
Yeah, the DECA program taught us, the typing and the skills with working with customers. And so I went to, my senior year, went half a day to school and a half a day to job. And that was part of a credit hour too.
It's a beautiful thing to leave school half a day when after doing it for that long.
Especially when you're a senior year, you're like ready to go anyways.
Exactly. So people that may be watching, we kind of try and bring information about the mortgage process, the home buying process, the home selling process. I know escrow and title are a completely foreign thing to people, especially if they're first-time home buyers. Maybe they haven't been through the process. So in a nutshell, what would you describe escrow as? What is the escrow process like?
Sure. So the escrow process is the earnest money comes to escrow. Everyone talks about that word. Is earnest money there? So we start the process with the earnest money, and we hold the funds for the buyers in the transaction until we're ready to close. And then we order all kinds of items. We order the HOA statements, which is your homeowners association statements. We order the payoffs, the title insurance. So the title insurance is key because you want clear title to your property. And so then at the midpoint, we start getting information from the lenders. The loan documents start coming in, and then we disperse all funds. We disperse funds to the payoff, we disperse funds to the seller, to the agents, yourself at closing.
We get funds out of this process?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a pretty cool part.
Yeah. Hopefully, upon closing you do.
Right.
Yeah. Or if you haven't given, like you do, you give a lot of credits to your buyers, which is very generous of you. And I do see, the loan process, once they have funded the loan, then escrow actually records the deed at the Maricopa County Recorders or Pinal County or whichever county the property's in.
So escrow is the process of getting from accepted contract to
owning
change your ownership, right?
Yep, to owning your home.
So what would you, what's the role of the title company? Just to manage that process, to act, what's the role of a company? Why can't we just do that between the buyer and seller, figure out all the paperwork and all that?
Well, usually the buyer and seller don't know each other, and they also don't have regulations because there's a lot of privacy information that comes in. And the lender wants title insurance, and title insurance is a policy that's going to protect the buyer against any liens or encumbrances against the property. It's going to protect the lender, making sure they're in first lien position on the property as well. And there's a lot of moving parts to title insurance. It is an insurance policy against all defects of the property.
So this is just a curiosity follow-up question. In your time in 38 years of doing this, how often have you come across somebody that's just like, I had no idea that was on against my house, like a lien of some sort that they're unaware of?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah. There will be, because what will happen is whenever a loan is paid off, the release has to be recorded. There's a regulation. They only have 60 days to record that release at the county recorder's office. Many times the lenders don't get those recorded ever. And so we're chasing them down, finding out where that release is. We might have a deed that was recorded wrong from 3 prior owners ago, and we're having to chase down people to get deeds re-recorded.
Is that just an oversight from the last title company?
Yeah, it happens.
Because if it's gone through this process 2 or 3 times, you'd think they would have caught it.
Well, a lot of times we're noticing that people are handwriting quitclaim deeds, and we do not record quitclaim deeds in escrow. And they'll be writing, you know, buyer to seller or husband to wife. And the title insurance is a huge issue for that because we don't know that that person really signed that document. So we have to re-verify, and then it becomes kind of a problem.
Yeah, definitely. I can't imagine getting to, halfway through the process and you're like, what is this thing that I had no idea about, or having to extend escrow because you have to fix something that was screwed up in the past.
Yeah, and you'll see liens against sellers like IRS. If you owe money to IRS and you own a property, it's attached to your property.
So IRS liens, obviously mortgage liens, there's a contractor lien too that somebody can put on your house if you don't pay them for doing work.
Mechanic lien.
Yep.
That can
Is there
show
something
up.
else that I'm missing?
Well, there's liens that have shown up. We actually have had racketeering liens. We've had, all kinds of different scenarios. So
Be hard pressed to believe they didn't know about that one.
Yeah, they usually do, and they don't tell us about it. But HOA, the homeowners association, we can see a lot of those HOA liens on the property as well.
Perfect. So we talked about your role. We talked about what title insurance is. And then I guess the other thing I wanted to know is there's lots of title companies out there. I prefer working with Magnus and 1 or 2 others that have done well for me over the last 13 years.
Right.
But what should someone consider when they're making the decision of which title company? Do they just listen to their agent, or should they just...
Well, that's always good, especially if your agent likes you as the escrow officer. But a lot of times, so what happens on the title insurance side and the escrow staff and the agents, which is like you and I, a business relationship, is what kind of communication is there between, the agents and the escrow officer? What kind of response time is there? The professionalism is huge on that as well. And also what is their knowledge? Do they know what they're doing? I mean, you can work in escrow, but do you have the knowledge behind it too?
Have they been in there for 2 days or 38 years?
Or 38 years, yeah. And you have to be able to, problem solve, multitask. The title insurance is always by usually big underwriters. We underwrite through First American, Old Republic, and Title Resources out of Texas. And most companies do underwrite those. So it's really important come down to business relationships, marketing relationships, because our marketing team helps you over time, with flyers and postcards.
A lot of design work
that they do. So that's important too. That everybody is a team and team players in the transaction.
Yeah, most buyers and sellers that come in, it's usually the buyer that picks the title company, unless it's a negotiated thing within the deal. But most of the time, it's a buyer, and most of them don't have any idea.
They don't.
What a title company is, first of all, which hopefully this video helps some of that. But which company is which and who's worthwhile and who's not. So
and they're looking for recommendations from you as the agent, so it's obvious that you have good relationships with title companies, and it's good to have it with more than one, even though I want all of it. But it's good because there's a lot of times you're going to go to other title companies especially for like a new build. They have their own preferred title companies, some REO properties, and then some sellers have already purchased a hold open policy where they just bought the property, paid a premium, and then they're reselling the property. So you do have to go back to those other title agencies for that.
And from my perspective, being able to offer options is always a good thing, because we want to make sure that our clients have a choice in it and not just an assumption. But for sure, Magnus has been amazing to work with as far as communication, as far as assistance with marketing, which is always helpful as an agent, but primarily communication with our clients, communication with us. And we've heard from other agents that communication, they communicate really well. It's like, well, yeah, they're supposed to, right?
Yeah.
Who are you working with that they're not communicating?
We're on our emails, and I'm on my emails Saturdays and Sundays.
I saw our team send you a couple emails this morning. I think it was within 10 minutes. You were like, thanks.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, okay.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I pride myself on is, yes, you can send an email to me, but at least acknowledge that you got it, and that's something. Even if I say, thank you, received, thank you for sending. I think that's important because you can send an email to like cyberspace and did they get it?
Mm-hmm.
Unless someone replies that they actually received it. Yes, it does give you more emails and more times that you have to answer, but you know what? At least you're getting the communication that, thank you, we did get that, yes, received, and we appreciate your business.
So where does that end, right? Because I have some people I've worked with that seem to just need to have the last word. So they'll send me an email, I'll say, I got this, and I'll be like, great. And it's like, we don't need to go back and forth.
Don't do that.
That's just a side note. I'm just kidding with that. But I appreciate you hanging out with us a little bit and telling us about the escrow process. If folks want to learn more about Magnus Title or they want to reach you, what's the best way to do so?
Well, you can call me, 480-339-7000. You can email me at denise.sweeney@magnustitle.com. One other thing that I did is I printed out just a couple things that I would show you is we do have on our website, www.magnustitle.com. We have what's called Life of an Escrow on there. You can go in and print a lot of information. We also have the ways to take title, which is super important.
That's a whole other video, right? I mean,
that's a whole other video. Yeah, how you want to take title in Arizona, and also the comparison of title insurance policies. So we have all kinds of information on our website. We do have a sample contract that's on there as well. It's under resources. So if you go into, we have a cost sheet online too. So if you ever wondered like, hey, what's the escrow fee? What's the title fees for a specific sales price? We've got a cost sheet that'll generate for you on there as well.
Awesome. So so we'll put your information in the description as well. If you guys want to click the link to check out the website, you can also reach out to our team. We have guides for buying and selling a home that Magnus has put together for us as well that has a lot of this stuff in there. Not some of the things she's mentioning, but the sample contracts and things like that are there. So appreciate you being with us today, taking the time, and try not to work too hard, okay?
Okay, I'll try.
All right, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Thanks.
Thank you.
Wow, that was a great conversation with Denise at Magnus Title. Today we talked about what the escrow process is, what the role of a title company is during that process, and what title insurance is all about. If you like content like this, go ahead and share it with your friends. Maybe leave us a comment below on the situation you've experienced selling your home. Otherwise, we appreciate you checking out the video, and we'll see you on the next episode.